جئنا بمثلهم أولئك آباؤنا فجئنا بمثلهم. السلام عليكم. What's going on? Oh, okay, now I get it. I'll join back. My camera is having issues. Just give me like a minute, okay? Okay? I'll join back. Just give me like a minute. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you can hear me.
Okay, sir.
أولئك آباؤنا فجئنا بمثلهم. ما شاء الله. Spotlight for everyone. حياكم الله. كيف حالكم اليوم؟
الحمد لله.
ما شاء الله. تشرفت بحضوركم. حياكم الله. So today, inshallah, we'll be continuing from where we stopped yesterday. Ooh, I didn't even do. Zainab, I gave you an assignment. What's the difference between Madulin and Harfulin?
So I had a competition today, so I wasn't able to do it. I just got home like a few minutes ago.
Zubair, what's the difference between Madulin and Harfulin?
Madulin and Harfulin. Well,
Yeah.
Harfulin, we have wow and yeah. Then Madulin is the elongation that comes with Harfulin. Probably if I got give an example to the letter.
I'll give an example.
Have إيلاف قريش. Then so the last second to last letter there is ya, which is the letter of lin. It's having sukun there. That is vowelless, it's not having fatha, it's not having test, it's not having dunna. Now the letter come before it's having what? Fatha. Then because due to we are stopping on the last letter, which is shin, so we have to apply madulin to that instance. Sometimes it's usually placed under al-madul aril sukun, but if you want to specify further, you call it al-madulin. Same thing applies to all the verses in that surah.
Okay, raise your hand, Zainab.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, what is the difference? Because sometimes in the Quran we see Allahu and then we see Allahi, something like that. Like sometimes
we see Allahu and Allahi.
wait, like sometimes it's like I don't know how to. Sometimes it's like instead of la is law, something like that.
Okay, instead of la and law, tarqiq and tafkhim, lafz jalala. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's one of the topics that we have in our tajweed stuff. The last topic I put there, but like there's so many other things I still want us to learn that are not there. My learn wukuf, some other stuffs. I've not created the slide for some things like as we are doing the tajweed classes, like I'm noticing some things that have to be there that are not there. For example, al-waqi fail. Somebody mentioned that there. I'm like, bro, I didn't even like anticipate this. I didn't put it there. So there's some ahkam tajweed I didn't put there for some reasons that even me myself can't even really fathom. But maybe because when I was creating the tajweed book, I was just like structuring like the most common type of like ahkam. And again, the work if you feel is not that important. I even remembered while I was writing it, but I felt like it wasn't really important, so I left it out. So don't worry, Allah and Allah, we're going to get there. Before we get there, there are some things I want to explain. The people say full mouth letter and empty mouth letter. All of those things would learn it in a different way, inshallah. Because our own will be more practical. Which one is full mouth? Which one is empty mouth? That's Turkic and Tafkhim. That's the way they're able to explain Turkic and Tafkhim. Full mouth, empty mouth, heavy letters, light letters. Those things are difficult to fathom. But like the way I'm going to explain it, you guys are going to understand, inshallah. I try to be as explanatory as possible. And when I'm not explanatory, I notice myself. That's why I ask you guys, so that you guys can help me like break it down such that a 6-year-old can even understand what I'm explaining. So these concepts are a bit deeper than the way I explain them. But the truth is, if you sit down, listen to the audio I've given to you, and then you go back to the material and try to like look at every concept one after the other, the truth is you're going to understand it. The audio is to make it like even clearer, better explanation. So when you read the slide, you might not understand 100%. When you listen to the audio again, you compare with the slide and you look at the examples and the way I implemented the examples and the way the examples are written. Inshallah, you're going to get to understand the concept. So what are we even learning today? Let me see. إنكم وما تعبدون من دون الله حصب جهنم أنتم لها واردون. What's the next verse? What's the next verse?
لو كان هؤلاء آلهة ما وردوها.
زي آلهة وآلهة. What does kana wa akhwatuha do to a particular word? What does kana wa akhwatuha do?
You say?
What does kana wa akhwatuha do? Do you know what is kana wa akhwatuha?
Well, I remember, isn't they are part of, is inna one of them?
Yeah, so kana wa akhwatuha, they are mansubat. They make things have
Like
nasb.
inna kawada.
Yeah, that's yeah. Kana haulai alihatan ma waraduha. Yeah, under kana wa akhwatuha. So we did madul badal, madul iwad. Now mududul lazim. Yeah. So we have to start from mudul. Mashallah. You guys should just pay attention. This might be one of the easiest way for you to understand mududul lazim. A lot of people have problem with mududul lazim. Is it kalimi? Is it harfi? Is it? Don't worry. Would settle this call today. People that have learned Quran, that can recite Quran with tajweed, I want to like learn ahkam with tajweed. They have a lot of issues with knowing the ahkam the way it is. Or like they have a lot of actually understanding. Most of them do memorization. What I want to do now is to teach you the understanding of the concepts. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ba'd. So today, inshallah, we'll be taking al-maddu al-lazim, al-maddu al-lazim, al-maddu al-lazim. We'll be taking maddu al-lazim today. So what is maddu al-lazim? This is a mad that is formed when an alphabet that has sukoon comes after a normal mad, which is alif, wa, and ya in the same word. It is elongated with 6 harakat. So maddu al-lazim as a whole, we're taking everything as a big bracket. Maddu al-lazim is divided into 4. 4 different types of maddu al-lazim. Okay? So maddu al-lazim is formed when you have sukoon coming after a normal mad, just like some of the examples we have given earlier. It is elongated with what? 6 harakat. Whenever it's maddu al-lazim, it's 6. Maddu al-lazim is 6. So maddu al-lazim is divided into 4. Either it comes in a word. So the maddu al-lazim either exists in a word or in a set of alphabet, harf. Okay? When you put alphabets together and they don't have tashkil, That's harf, huruf. Those kind of things are common, like in the beginning of surahs. Alif, lam, mim, whatever, ha, mim. So it's alif, lam, and mim. They don't have tashkil. There's no fatha, kasra, or dhamma on it. There's just mudud on it. Okay. So that's harf. So madul lazim can exist when? It can exist in what? In a word or in an harf. That's two categories already. So the first category is either in word, either it comes in a word or it comes in a harf. That's two categories. If it's a word and it's heavy, it's called muthaqqal al-kalimi. We already know that kalima in Arabic means word, W-O-R-D. So if the madul lazim that happens in a word, that is the first category, when madul lazim exists in a word. The first category, if it's a word and it's heavy, if it's a word and it's heavy, it's muthaqqal al-kalmi. If you're pronouncing it heavy, it's muthaqqal al-kalmi. If it is in a word and you're pronouncing it light, it's what? Al-madul lazim al-mukhaffaf al-kalmi. Can you see? So even the word is divided into two, muthaqqal and mukhaffaf, light and heavy. So madul lazim can come in a word, light and heavy. That's the first two categories. And in harf also, if it's heavy, it's called what? Muthaqqal al-harfi. And if it's light, it's called mukhaffaf al-harfi. Okay, so now we have four. When it comes in a word and it's heavy, it's called what? Muthaqqal al-kalmi. If it comes in a word and is light, mukhaffaf al-kalmi. If it comes in what? In a harf and is light, mukhaffaf al-harfi. If it comes in a harf and is heavy, muthaqqal al-harfi. So those are the four mududul lazim. Al-maddul lazim, al-maddul lazim, muthaqqalul kalmi, al-maddul lazim, mukhaffaful kalmi, al-maddul lazim, muthaqqalul harfi, al-maddul lazim, mukhaffaful harfi. Those are the four mududul lazim that we have. So when the alphabets in the Quran are pronounced together without vowelization, without tashkil, that is known as harf. It's known as harf and not word. So we don't consider it to be a word because it's not joined together. In fact, this huruf, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the meaning of their combination. Not even the messenger of Allah knows the meaning of these words, like alif lam mim. Nobody knows, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. So the letters that formed this are called hurufu al-muqatta'a. The letters that constitute the harf itself are called hurufu al-muqatta'a. What are hurufu al-muqatta'a? Hurufu al-muqatta'a is what? Hamza, ha, ya, to, ha, ro, sin, nun, qaf, sod, lam, kaf, mim, and ain. So these are the works. When you have Hamza in like being part of this set of alphabets written together without any tashkil, most of the time, all the time, hurufs, they come at the beginning of what? The beginning of the surah. They're always the first verse, okay? So when you have Hamza, you don't do any mud, you just pronounce the Hamza. Sorry, when you have Alif, you don't do any mud, just pronounce the Alif. Alif, Alif. For example, Alif, Lam, Mim. If you have Ha, Ya, To, Ha, Ro, you do two counts. Ha, Mim. Ha was pronounced with what? Two harakat. Everything here, you pronounce with two harakat. When you have any of these, you do what? You do 6 harakat. And when you have this, you do 4 or 6 harakat when you're pronouncing it. Don't worry, we would refer back to this huruf al-muqatta' when we get to harfi. For now, I'm just explaining it so you're going to know that, oh, this is what hurufu al-muqatta' means, okay? These are what are called what? Al-huruf al-muqatta'. Now, let's go to the next thing. Al-maddu al-lazim al-muthaqqal al-harfi. This is what? A maddu al-lazim, al-maddu al-lazim muthaqqal al-kalmi. This is a maddu al-lazim that comes in a word and is what? Muthaqqal, it is heavy, okay? This is a mad that is formed when an alphabet that has shadda comes after a mad, alif, wa, and ya, in the same word. It is elongated with 6 harakat. It is important to remember that shadda equals double letters. That is, a letter that has shadda equals 2 of that letter, with the first taking sukun and the other taking what is on the shadda. For example, look at hajja. Shadda in Arabic. Shadda was formed from the fact that sometimes we have the same alphabets coming after each other. And then one is what? Taking sukun, and the other is taking fatha or kesra or dhamma. So since we have this concept of the same alphabet following each other, and the second alphabet can take any of the tashkil, the shadda was born. So when you have two alphabets like that, the first one taking sukun, second one taking fatha, kesra or dhamma, you just join it together and put shadda and put whatever is on the second haraka. Can you see? So they join it together to one jim and put fatha on it. That was how the shadda concept was born in Arabic. So this is an example of sukun. And as we said before, for the type of like hudud, mududul far'i, maddul far'i, some of the categories what is either sukun or what hamza comes after what? After a normal mud, alif wa ya. Do you understand? So shadda is a type of sukun. Okay, and this is the explanation. Hajja. Even if you try to pronounce this, hajja, hajj, jim sukun, hajj, then jim fatha, ja, hajja. Same thing, hajja. That was how shadda was born, and that's exactly the same way you pronounce it with shadda, if you understand it. So whenever you have all of this mudud followed by shadda in a word, because this is a word, every other alphabet there takes tashkil, so this is a word. Okay, when you have this mad followed by what? Followed by shadda, it is what? Al-madul lazim al-muthaqqalul kalmi. So any of the mads of alif, waw, and ya, which is madul asli or madul tabi'i, followed by shadda in a word, the same word though, in a word, is called what? Madul lazim al-muthaqqalul kalmi. Now, for example, wala dallin. Wala the dall. That's 6 elongation of do. The mad between this mad with shadda coming after it is what? This is maddul lazim al-muthaqqal. It's heavy because what? Shadda is on the lam. Al-maddul lazim al-muthaqqal al-kalmi. Kalmi, because this is what? This is a kalima. This is a word. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. The lean can be two things. The lean is mad sukun. Let us just leave it like that. الحاقة ما الحاقة وما أدراك ما whatever 4, 3 or 6, that's madul jaiz. وما أدراك ما الحاقة. Can you see? So this حاقة, because it's madul lazim, it has to be 6. Madul lazim is 6. Okay, madul lazim is what? Madul lazim is 6. حاقة. Shut down with this. الصاخة. Can you see? So we're having what? Maddu, and after it is what? Shadda. Then this is Maddu, al-lazim, al-muthaqqal, al-kalmi. Whenever you have any of the mududul asli, followed by what? Followed by Shadda is Maddu, al-lazim, al-muthaqqal, al-kalmi. That's for Maddu, al-lazim, muthaqqal. Let's move to the next mad. Maddul lazim al-mukhaffaf al-kalmi. This is a mad that is formed when an alphabet that has sukun comes after the mad alif waw and ya in the same word. And what comes after that mad is light, not heavy, like shadda. It is elongated with 6 harakat. It appears only like this in the Quran in 2 places in Surah Yunus. So now in this case, unlike the previous case that we're using shadda as the sukun, this type of sukun is not a shadda sukun. This is an actual sukun, and an actual sukun is light. حتى إذا أدركه الغرق قال آمنت أنه لا إله إلا الذي آمنت به بنو إسرائيل وأنا من المسلمين. الآن. If you are stopping on this noon, can you see the tricky part of it? The maddul lazim al-mukhaffaf al-kalmi is what? It's between the alif here and the lam. This is the madul asli and the lam. Because this is supposed to be what? Two Hamza. It's two Hamza that was formed, joined together. Al-ana. Is it now? Al-ana. Is it now? Do you get? So this maddu, there's alif in front, is like Hamza standing separate, then another alif in front of the Hamza. Then that alif in front of the Hamza is the mad. So we join these two. It's called madul farq. Again, this Hamza itself, alone, standing alone, is called madul farq. It is like two arms are coming together. But because of the lam that is coming after it, and the lam is what? Is taking sukun. Then this is what? Maddu lazim al-mukhaffaf al-kalmi. And because this nun is taking fatha, this nun is not taking sukun. Al-ana wa qad asayt. The tricky part of it is that if there was sukun on it, if you stopped on nun, can you see? Now we have madul lazim on the both alphabets, both the lam and the nun. Do you understand? Because a direct sukun is coming after what? After a mad. Is it clear? So when you have a direct sukun coming after a mad, then this nun, whenever we put sukun on this nun, it has already qualified to be madul lazim al-mukhaffaf al-kalmi. But in normal recitation, you're not stopping on al-an. You are reading. You're not stopping on it. So the only place where you to apply it be between what? Between the first alphabet and the lam. أنا وقد عصيت قبل وكنت من المفسدين. So the mad, the existence of that mad, al-madul lazim al-mukhaffaf al-kalmi, originally, like without stopping, like reading normally, not stopping in the wrong places, like just reading the Quran normally, it's just between this mad and lam, and this particular word exists twice in Surah Yunus. So just this appearing two times is what? Maddu al-lazim al-mukhaffaf al-kalmi. And the condition is clear. You have a mad followed by sukun. Al-maddu al-lazim muthaqqal al-harfi. Now, al-harfi. Al-harfi will so much require that we go back to al-hurufu al-muqatta'a. And what I want is that everyone writes down al-hurufu al-muqatta'a and the number of elongations that every one of it has. So let's go back to al-huruf al-muqatta'a. You should have alif written, no mad. You should have ha, ya, to, ha, ro. Whenever you find any of these, you elongate it twice with two harakat. You should have sin, nun, kof, sod, lam, kaf, and mim. Anytime you find any of this, it must be elongated with 6 harakats for it to be properly pronounced. Whenever you find ayin, it could be 4 or 6, depending on your mode of recitation. It's choice. You can decide to make it 4, you can decide to make it 6. All of this must be 6, all of this must be 2, and this must have no mad. I want you to write it down, jot it down. You can see the number of counts beside it. So if you have done this, then we will now move to madul, to the harf back again. So al-madul lazim al-muthaqqal al-harfi. This is a mad that is formed by the combination of the huruf al-muqatta'a. It is found at the beginning of surahs. Whenever these alphabets require margin due to the nature of the alphabets, like whenever due to the nature of the alphabets that are put together, whenever it requires idgham, then it's called muthaqqal. It's referred to as heavy, for example. So whenever you have set of huruf together, in huruful muqatta'a, 4 has 2 counts. Sin has 6 counts. Mim has 6 counts. Okay? So ta will be pronounced ta with 2 harakats. Sin will be pronounced sin with 6 harakats. But there's a problem. When you have sin is written like this and mim is written like this, mim, sin, this is sin, this is mim. But the problem is this sin ending with nun has nun sukun. And when nun sukun comes before mim, what do we do? Is mim part of the letters of idgham? Yes, mim is part of the letters of idgham. If you remember, yarmalun, ya, ro, mim, wow, ya, ro, mim, lam, wow, nun. That's yarmalun, the alphabet of idgham. So mim is what? Part of the what? Yarmalun. Mim is part of the alphabet of idgham. So when you have this nun sukun coming before this, what we do idgham. We put this nun inside the mim. Do you understand? So if you write the alphabets one after the other, like write the way the alphabet is to, sin, mim, you see that the sin will enter the mim because of the rules of idgham already. Then because of the concept that the sin will enter the mim, all of these are huruf, alphabets without what? Without tashkil. So we have moved away from words. Now we're already in what? Huruf. And this to, sin, and mim, with this one having 2 counts, 6 counts, 6 counts, I'll pronounce it so that you're going to see it. Bossy. Can you see? I didn't say sin, meme. No, I did sin, meme. In fact, it's even in the gum what? It gonna be gunna. It gonna be what? Gunna. You can see the gunna. Sim, that sound. If I put my hand on my nose, you hear the sound. So you can look at, if you look at what is happening right here, because the nun is entering the meme, so the conjunction of sin and meme constitutes muthaqqal, heavy, because we did idgham. So whenever we do idgham, we consider it to be heavy. Bossy. Can you see? Alif, lam, and mim. Lam, 6 harakat. Mim, 6 harakat. Alif, 0. Nomad. Alif, lam, alif, lam. Can you see? So what we did is what? We have 2 mim. When you have 2 mim coming after each other, with the first one taking sukun, we are doing idgham mutamathilain. This is the type of idgham that we had discussed in earlier classes. Idgham mutamathilain. When you have 2 mim coming before each other, is what idgham mutamathilain. When you have 2 alphabets of the same nature, one having sukun and the other having taken anything, any type of tashkil, you do idgham, you join it together. So alif lam, we are done idgham. Hence, this will be muthaqqal, heavy. So this is harf already. We already know it's harf. Mad lazim al harfi already. Is it muthaqqal or mukhaffaf? Heavy or light? We did it wrong, so it's heavy. Muthaqqal. Let's look at the last one. Alif, lam, mim, ra. Alif, lam, the same thing. Idgham mutamathilin. One mim taking sukun, the other mim taking whatever. Alif, lam, mim, ra. Ra, 2 harakats from huruf al-muqatta'. That's why I say mim, ra. No, because if you check the huruf al-muqatta'a, ra has 2 harakats, 2 counts. Alif, lam, mim, ra. Tilka ayat. So I hope this is clear. So this is madul lazim al-muthaqqal al-harfi. Now, when you have set of huruf similar, I don't even want to read what is here at all. You can read it. You can pause the video and read it. But I don't want to read what is here at all. You have to understand that when you don't do it wrong, that you just pronounce all of the harakat, considering the rules of muqatta' on how long you are going to pronounce each of these huruf. And when you pronounce it without doing idgham, look at ya, sin. There's no idgham at all. Everybody is separate. Ya, see. I can take it 6 harakats. Posi. Can you see? Ya and to is 2 harakats. Hami. Can you see? So all of this, I didn't do any idgham. So it is maddu al-lazim al-mukhaffaf al-harfi. I didn't do any idgham. I just pronounced the ya separate, sin separate, to separate, sin separate, because there's no rule that guarantees that, oh, there's a need for the what? for the coagulation or like combination or the union between any of these two alphabets. So I call them individually, I call them separately. Let me read it for those that would like me to read it. This is also a mad that is formed by the combination of the huruf al-muqatta'a. It is found at the beginning of surahs. Whenever these alphabets don't require margin and it's just called separately, then it's considered to be light, mukhaffaf. That's why it's what al-maddu al-lazim al-mukhaffaf al-harfi. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Stop. So how was the class? Do you have any questions? What did I not explain properly? What do you need me to like make clearer? Okay, you can speak.
I just want to confirm that like the mukhaffaf and the muthaqqal for harfi will only like happen in harf letters.
Yeah, it will happen in harf letters. The rule
Okay.
for harf letters separate from the rule for, and harf letters only exist at the beginning of surahs.
Okay.
Yeah, it only happen for harf letters. Any other question? Any other questions? Questions? Hey, let's move on. Can you see my screen? So we'll be moving to Al-Maddulin. Al-Maddulin. There are two alphabets of Lin. They are Ya and Wa. We have two alphabets of Lin. Huruf Lin, Ya, wal Wa. Ya and Wa, the alphabets of Lin. Whenever an alphabet that has Fatha comes before any of the aforementioned, the mad referred to is what? Maddulin. So let me say it in a very more explanatory way. I would say Maddulin is a bit similar to Madul Arid Lisukun. It's like a specialization in Madul Arid Lisukun at some instances. You can have Madulin, the ruling for a particular mad can be Madul Arid Lisukun. But if they ask you to specialize, what type of Madul Arid Lisukun is it? You can say, oh, it is Madulin. For example, in Surah Quraysh, لإيلاف قريش. I can say it's Madul Arid Lisukun. I can say it's what? Madulin. Why? Because what? Second to the last alphabet is what? One of the what? Huruful lin. Yeah. And it could be wow too. Okay. So look at Madul Harful lin here. Bayina. But it's weird that you stop on Bayina. Bayin. It's weird that you're reciting and you now stop. Bayin. It's not a common thing for you to do. But you have to understand that if you actually stop in the middle of a word and you stop on bayin, that mad that you had pronounced, that you had exhibited, that you had performed, that you had observed is what? Madulin. Because ya is what? One of the huruful lin. So when ya is the second to the last alphabet before the word that comes, and the alphabet that comes after the ya takes sukun. For example, this is having fatha. Whenever you want to stop on this in the middle of a word, you end up saying bayin, giving this non sukun. So when you stop on something that has sukun, and what comes before it is wa or ya, it's madulin. So madulin is when you have sukun as the last place, on the last alphabet on where you stopped, and what comes before that last alphabet is either ya or wow. So when you have sukun on where you are stopping, and you are stopping on a particular word, the last alphabet takes sukun, and what comes before it is wa or ya. That's madulin. فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Can you see? فلا خوف madulin. خوف. maddul lin. Because what? This fa, we gave it sukun, and then what? There is waw before what? Before the fa, and the y is what? Y is taking sukun or no tashkil. لو ما تأتينا بالملائكة. We have to stop on it, which is weird because that's the beginning. Laum or something like that. Laum, because the meme is taking sukun and waw is coming before it, then it's what? It's considered to be what? Madulin. Shaytan. Shaytan. Why did I put this as an example? بيضاء لذة للشاربين. Bayd. Why do you want to stop in the middle of a word? We just have to understand that what? Yeah is what? Part of the huruful lin. Yeah is part of the huruful lin. And why is part of the huruful lin? I don't know why I put these examples there. These three are not meant to be here. These three are not meant to be here. So these are examples of, and I gave you ila fi Quraysh. فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Madul aid sukun. It can also be what? Madul lin. When you are more specific, what type of madul aid sukun is it? It's what? Madul lin. Al-maddu sila. Maddu sila. Let us read the story that is written under maddu sila. I can't even remember what I wrote here, but I know I wrote something. It's been a while. Maddu sila. Maddu sila is the mad that you pronounce after a word that ends with ha. So when a word ends with ha, that mad you pronounce on it, that's what? That's maddu sila. And preceded by fatha or kasra, and it is observed with 2 harakats. So when you read a word, second to the last place, last alphabet is taking fatha or kasra, and the last alphabet is ha. You're stopping on that ha. You've done what? You've done sila. Okay, you pronounce a word that has ha, you're not necessarily stopping on it. So when the second to the last part of a word, second to the last alphabet of a word has fatha or kasra, and the last alphabet has ha, it is what? Sila. It is divided into 2 categories. Sila is observed with what? 2 harakat, right? It's divided into 2 categories. Sila to kubra. You have the long sila, and sila to sugra, and the short sila. If what comes before the sila is fatha or kasra, it's called short sila. Innahu kana fi. Innahu kana fi. So the nahu, that ha in front of the nun. Can you see fatha is coming before what? Before the ha. So here it's what? Sila to sugra. Walahu ma fi sama. Lahu. This lahu here is what? Sila to as-sugra. Innahu kana bihi basira. Bihi basira. 2 harakat. Bihi. Ba is having kasra, followed by the ha. Sila to as-sugra. If what comes before the ha is sukun, then there will be no mud implemented. So whenever what comes before the ha is sukun, you will not implement any mud. You just continue, you read it straight up. You do iltiqa is sakinain, most likely, yeah. Like joining of 2 sukun together. There would be no mud implemented except for only one condition in Surah Al-Furqan. So it's just an exception where before the sila there is sukun, and yet we pronounce the mud. وَيَخْلُدِ فِيهِ مُهَانًا. The only place where you recite like that, where you have sukun coming before the sila, and you are still going to pronounce the sila, the mud, instead of doing iltiqa. They become what? وَيَخْلُدِ فِيهِ مُهَانًا in Surah Al-Furqan. فِيهِ مُهَانًا. Except from this particular recitation, in every other part of the recitation, in every other part of the Quran, every other part of the Quran, you are meant to what? You are meant to not exhibit, not like perform the ha. You are not going to like pronounce the mad. You are just going to continue. But for this exception in Surah Al-Furqan, وَيَخْلُدَ فِيهِ مُهَانًا is the only exception to that rule. If the next word after the ha requires connection, that it starts with hamzatul wasl, then there is no mud that will be implemented. For example, annahul haqq. Can you see? So because in most, that was what I'm talking about, you're having nun shadda coming, you have the sila. We're supposed to do mad, but because what comes after it, what? Hamzatul wasl. So whenever Hamzatul Wasl, I think we all know about Hamzatul Wasl. It's something we should have learned before. Hamzatul Wasl is a kind of like Hamza that when it's in the middle of the word, it is not observed at all. We ignore it. But if we're starting from that particular word and Hamzatul Wasl is there, we pronounce it. For example, Annahul Haqqa. Can you see? We ignore this Hamza and we move straight to the lam. But if we're to start from this particular word, annahu or something like that, and we are stopped and want to continue from this word, we say al-haqqu. Al-haqqu, we pronounce the hamza. That's hamzatul wasl. But if the hamza is there and we are to join a word before it, we ignore the hamza. That's why it's called hamzatul wasl. And hamza that is invincible when it is in the middle of a sentence. That's hamzatul wasl. So annahul haqqa. Can you see that what we are doing here, it totally negates this. Innahu kana, hu kana. Here, we pronounce the ha. But whenever there's hamzatul wasl after this ha, we ignore the ha. We don't pronounce it like we have here. Annahul haqqa. Walahu dinu wasiba. Walahu dinu wasiba. And do you know why we pronounce the lam here? We don't pronounce the lam here. The lam here is what? Allamul qamari. Annahul haqqa. The lam is significant. Here, the lam here is what? Lamul shamsi. We don't pronounce the lam. That's why we say walahud dinu. We didn't say walahul dinu. So that might actually cause confusion because say, how come? What we did here is what? We just made sure we didn't what? We didn't exercise the mad. The ha is not what? Is not pronounced. But the rule for al-haqqu and ad-dinu is different. That's why when we join this ha, we join the ha to the dal here. But when we join the ha here, we join it to the lam. Again, annahul haqqu. The reason why we didn't say annahul haqqu is because what? Is because hamzatul wasl comes after the ha. So this is another exception again. When hamzatul wasl comes after the ha, it's what? Annahul haqqu. We don't exercise the hamzatul wasl. Here too. Walahuddinu. Walahuddinu. We don't exercise the sila. The ha is what? The ha is not significant. What is long sila? Silatul kubra. Long sila is exhibited when hamzatul qat'i comes after the ha. Then this mad is implemented for a longer period. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه عنده إلا بإذنه عنده. Can you see? We took that word 4 harakats. Okay, so we took that word 4 harakats. عنده إلا, because hamzatul qat'i comes. What is hamzatul qat'i? Hamzatul qat'i is an hamza that is pronounced all the time in the middle. Anywhere you find it, you pronounce that hamza, and that hamza, and it is written with what? With the hamza sign written on it. Unlike hamzatul qat'i, hamzatul qat'i used to have like a kind of like something like sukun, but not like sukun. It's shaped like the shape of a balloon, but like turned sideways. That's the way it is. Something like that. That's hamzatul wasl. You see it in the Quran. There's always like that's small, like it's like sukun, but not like an extended sukun, extended to the side. So that's hamzatul wasl. But for hamzatul qat'i, you see the hamza there. If you are in the middle of recitation at the beginning, anywhere you pronounce it. So whenever you have hamzatul qat'i coming after ha, you just read it like that. Indahu illa bi'idnih min ilmihi إلا بما شاء علمه إلا بما شاء. So that will be the end of Hamza Mad Sila. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Zainab, you raise your hand. Your hands. أنه أضحك وأبكى.
Yes, I wanted to the example in South of Furqan. I never like heard it like that before.
Really? That's how
Yeah.
to pronounce it. Can you play your recitation? Fihi Muhana. Play it.
Huh?
Okay, you never heard it like that before. Have you listened to someone recite it?
Yes, and it was just Fihi Mohana, they usually say.
Fihi Muhana.
My
Never.
teacher taught me like that, and then I used to listen to recitation and it was like that too.
Really?
Yes.
The funny thing is I never heard it like that. Fihi Muhana is actually an exception. Let me check. ويخلد فيه مهانا ضعف له العذاب يوم القيامة. Fihi Muhana. That's today, so let me play with someone else again. I never heard anybody say Fihi Muhana. Let me change this. Let me play another sheikh. Let's play someone that is a bit slower. Let's play Sheikh Khalil Al-Khusari. Muallim. Let me play Muallim. It's an exception. Let me play it again. It's an exception. Normally, that place is meant to be recited Fihi Muhana. But for some reasons, I don't know, that's the way Jibril revealed it to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's what is there. It's not of course, I know that the rules of Tajweed, that's what I'm saying, is that when you have like the rule, you have like exception. Let me use another sheikh. Who is your favorite sheikh?
I actually have a favorite.
You don't actually have a favorite. Who do you think we should listen to?
Mishawi.
Minshari. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Let me look for him. All you have here is Al-Afasi. Minshari Al-Afasi. I knew I never heard Fihi Muha, never Fihi Muha. Like you exhibit that mud. That mud comes out. It's an exception. Every other place in the Quran, wherever you have that kind of situation, where you have like what's the condition again? Imagine, I forgot the condition. Where you have like you have what comes before the ha is sukun. Because what comes before the ha should have teshkil. Should be fatha, kesra, or dhamma. Do you get? So like whenever you have find yourself in that situation, wherever what comes before the fatha is what? What comes before the fatha is sukun. What you do is what? You don't pronounce the mad. Do you understand? But this is actually an exception. I've never heard anyone say fihi muhana. Surah Furqan, that particular verse, that was how it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So that verse is that particular situation is what is an exception to the rule. Do you understand? Okay, ask your question.
Yeah, so today a judge asked me what type of color something was. So like what are the types of color?
Kolkola.
Yeah.
Types of kolkola.
Yeah.
Kolkola is sugra and kolkola kubra now. Those are the two types of kolkola we know.
Oh, okay.
So do you know the difference?
Not really.
Kolkola kubra comes at the end. Kolkola sugra comes at the middle.
Middle, okay.
Yeah, so if for example, the Surah to Qiyamah. وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقَ. Oh, that was too much. That's too much for Kolkola. Kolkola is touch it and run. Touch it and run. But like when Kolkola comes at the end, you cannot touch and run. Like you have to stop on that place. And because you're stopping on it, it will come out so clear. That's why it's Kubra. وَقِيلَ مَنْ راق وظن أنه الفراق والتفت الساق بالساق إلى ربك يومئذ المساق. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Kajiku, who speaks Hausa here? So that's on Maddu Sila. Alhamdulillah, we clarified it. Fihi Muhana is an exception. Fihi Muhana. Aside this, whenever sukun comes before that ha at the end of the word, never. You never do what? We don't do mad. We just jump. We just jump to the next one. And when Hamzatul Qat'i comes after what? After the ha, what do? We make the ha longer. Indahu illa. This example, I didn't pronounce it because it does not exist in the Quran. Innahu adhaka. I don't know why I even saw it. That's what this about. I know. Annahu huwa. Wa annahu huwa adhaka wa abika. There's nothing like innahu adhaka. That's why I didn't even pronounce it, because the example does not exist. Al-Maddul Farq. Are you ready? Hello, do I have my people here? Are you following?
Yeah.
No.
Naam. Bismillah. Are you guys tired?
Kind of.
Woo!
Yeah.
Sheikh Habibullah. Okay. Let's stop at Madul Farq. Let's stop at Madul Farq. We'll do Madul Farq and go. Next class, we'll do Madul Temkin. Yes, Madul Temkin. Let me see what we're doing. Madul Temkin. We'll do Qalqala. You see, you rushed. I wrote Qalqala. He was there. We do Qalqala. We'll do big and small Qalqala. We'll do Tarqiq and Tafkhim. Very, very important. I don't know why I put this topic as last topic. Tarqiq and Tafkhim is like a giveaway for anyone that takes the course seriously. Tarqiq and Tafkhim, very important. Very important. And then I ended it with what? Maddu Ta'vim. Maddu Ta'vim. I did Maddu Ta'vim for a particular reason. People don't know what Maddu Ta'vim is. My teacher taught me specially. He said, come, let me teach you something special. And he taught me Maddu Ta'vim. Imagine. I think I was the only one my teacher taught Maddu Ta'vim. So I hold it precious. It's valuable. He taught me once and I never forgot it. It's not like it's important like that, but I just felt like it was a bonus that he gave me that I didn't give any other person. So I hold it precious to myself. So let's just do Madhu Farq. Can you see that we're almost at the end of the tajweed? We're almost at the end. And the other things we'll do wukuf. I might write a slide for wukuf. I might not. It depends. Uba Erisha, I'll let you guys know. Now, Bismillah. Bismillahi wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ba'd. Maddul Farq. Al-Maddul Farqi. Never. Al-Baw. There's no al there. Maddul Farq is a special kind of mad that exists in only 4 places in the Quran. It is a mad that is resulting from the conglomeration, union, coalition of 2 hamza. So when you put 2 hamzas together, when 2 hamzas come together and to form a union, to be pronounced as one sound, when they come together to merge and become one sound, 2 hamzas, where the earlier hamza stands to be the hamza of question. It means the first hamza that is joining with the second hamza. The first hamza is what? Hamza of question. And the latter hamza is the first alphabet of that word. So the word starts with hamza, and then I placed another hamza in front of it to be a hamza of question, converting that word to a question. And when I want to pronounce it, I'm merging these 2 hamzas together as one hamza. What we have done is what? Is Maddul Farq. Maddu of what? Of differentiation. Al-Farq. Now, let me explain something to you, a concept to you in Arabic. Doroba means to beat. To beat someone in Arabic is doroba. If I want to say, did he beat? A doroba, I'll put hamza in front of doroba to make it what? question. Did he beat? Ad-Dawwaba, did he beat? Jalasa, he sat. Ajalasa, Ajalasa Umaru, did Umar sit? Okay. Ajalasa Umaru, did Umar sit? Hamza coming before what? Jalasa. Do you get? So that there's, in Arabic, we have a concept of what? Converting maybe a noun, for example, Dhakar. Al-Dhakaru, sorry. Does it go with noun? Don't worry. Let me just use verb. Ajalasa, akotala, like use with Hamza come before what? Before a verb. It converts that verb to what? It converts the verb to a question. For example, Doroba beat. Adoroba, did he beat? Did you get? Just by putting Hamza in front. So that Hamza is called what? Hamza of question. Okay. So in this situation now, in the Quran, when we have Hamzas of question coming before a word, that the word starts with Hamza itself. For example, Ad-Dhakaroin in Surah Al-An'am. Example includes what? Surah Al-An'am, it appears twice, which was originally Ad-Dhakaroin. Ad-Dhakaroin is what? Two male. Okay? Ad-Dhakaroin is two male. It starts with Alif on its own, right? But an Hamza comes before it to what? To make it question. Qul Ad-Dhakaroin. If I was speaking in Arabic, I say, Ad-Dhakaroin, is it two male? Do you understand? But in the Quran, according to the rule of Tajweed, what happens when you have Madul Farq? When you have like two Hamzas, you join those two Hamzas together, and then it becomes a mad. Qul Adh-Dhakarayn. قل أذكرين حرم أم الأنثيين قل أذكرين. So what I had done is what? I had converted these two Hamza to what? To one Hamza, and I put a mad on it. So what I had done now is what? This execution of this mad, like exhibition of this mad, like observing this mad is what is called maddu al-farq. A mad, the reason why we did the mad is for you to know that what it is, what two different alphabets coming together to what? To form one. قُلْ أَذَّكَرَيْنِ حَرَّمَ. For the next one, Surah to Yunus. Qul means say in Arabic. Qul Allahu, start with Alif already. Allahu. Say Allah. Qul Allahu. Then now I'm putting Hamza in front of Allah, which is a noun. Allahu. Is it Allah? If I was speaking Arabic, I wouldn't say Qul Allah. No. I say Qul Allahu adhina lakum. Say, is it Allah that gave you that permission? Am ala Allahi taftarun. So if I'm to recite it in the Quran, I would join these two Hamzas together to form one. And then that will result to what? Into a mad. So the process of putting Hamza of question and joining it to an alphabet that starts with Hamza already is called Madul Farq. قُلْ Allahu adina lakum am ala Allahi taftarun. Madul Farq exists in only 4 places in the Quran. And that's what we have to understand. Madul Farq exists in just 4 places in the Quran. 2 in Surah Al-An'am. It came twice. Allah, which is originally Allah, which is the same way I'll pronounce it when I'm speaking Arabic. But in the Quran, it is joined together to form Madul Farq. قُلْ اللَّهُ أَذِنَ لَكُمْ أَمْ عَلَى اللَّهِ تَفْتَرُونَ. Surah An-Naml. Allahu khayrun amma yushrikun. Allahu khayrun amma yushrikun. Allahu khayrun. Same thing from, it came from what? Allahu khayrun. Is it Allah that is better? Or those whom they associate partners with Allah with? So that will be the end of Madul Farq. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. وما